welcome to Doors and Corners, a sci-fi and fantasy film commentary podcast. I'm Brian.
And I'm Zach. And every Friday we sit down and watch a science fiction or fantasy film and give our 2 cents on its quality, production, story, and trivia.
We watch the film together, but without sounds or visuals provided to avoid copyright issues. But if you do have access, we encourage you to join us and follow along.
Here, we like to keep things casual, and there may be discussions of spoilers or sensitive materials or language. But we do try and keep things clean and family-friendly. Ultimately, the goal of this podcast is to create the experience of us all sitting down and watching this movie together.
So get ready to hit that play button, because we're about to get started.
Damn Doors and Corners, I mean, that's where they get you.
Well, welcome back to Doors and Corners. I'm Brian.
I'm Zach.
We're revisiting a franchise we haven't touched on a little bit tonight, Zach.
Yes, and, speaking of touching, Predators.
Where are you going with this? You make me nervous.
Yeah, that's one. We're doing the movie The Predators.
It's just Predators.
Predator. You're right. I'm sorry. I'm thinking about next week because the thing about this particular franchise is that they are really stupid with their names.
Oh gosh.
So this is Predators, the third Predator film. Because if you want to think about the way that this film series has gone,
Isn't
there
the
was
fifth Predator
The
film?
Predator. There was Predator. There was Predator 2. Alien vs. Predator. Alien vs. Predator Requiem, which is a title that makes absolutely zero sense. Then we have 2010's Predators. Then we have The Predator, followed by Prey and Predator Badlands.
Yeah.
And there's just no consistency to it. Stick numbers on there. I don't care if you have to call Prey Predator -1. Like, stop it. Oh, there's also the animated anthology.
Oh, that's
Predator,
right.
Killer of Killers, which is fantastic.
I've heard that's good. I've never watched that, but did Danny Glover do a voice bit for that,
no,
or did somebody else?
So,
Somebody famous
so
did a voice, right?
Yeah. I mean, there are voices in there. Cat, please, ma'am. You could probably hear my cat just freaking out in the back for some reason. Let's see, Predator, Killer of Killers. Let's see.
Or is that the one where they didn't get Arnold back, but they actually reintroduced Dutch again?
Well, they do have Michael Biehn. He's in there.
Okay.
He
would have been good in one of
the
these movies.
actors. One of the actors from this movie. He doesn't reprise his role, but he plays like his ancestor. But that being Louis Ozawa. Or Louis Ozawa, I'm not sure. But what happened with Killer of Killers? They weren't sure if it was going to be successful or not. So what they did is they put it out there on Hulu. They waited to see the fan reaction. And they waited to see the numbers. And once they saw the numbers and went, you know what? Okay, this is kind of cool. Awesome. Let's do this. Then they added an extended post-credit sequence showing the return of the characters played by Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny Glover. With no dialogue.
Ah. So they didn't actually get either one of them to do any voices for this.
Supposedly, they have them contracted to do voices.
Huh.
And they will return in Avengers Doomsday.
Because, of course, just everybody, anything that's ever been on Fox is open game. Oh, so I know we're recording your Predators, but at the time we're recording, that trailer came out like a few days ago. What'd you think?
They're gonna have to prove it to me. The trailer is serviceable. It doesn't excite me. It doesn't thrill me. But it shows me that, maybe they're putting work into this thing. The most interesting part of it was Shang-Chi versus Gambit. What are they doing there? I want to know what's going to happen with them.
Yeah.
Why are they in the Sanctum Sanctorum, but at the same time, Doctor Strange is not listed to appear in this movie? So I'm really curious to see what they're going to be doing with some of the story choices. But they have to. I am going in with doubt. I am not going in with confidence.
Yeah, I was genuinely. I already knew that it had been talked about that we were going to go in this direction. I am excited and happy, satisfied. Those are good words. That we get a like a somber, serious Thor. That they're not making Thor like a joke, because Chris Hemsworth
He's
deserves
been too
better.
jokey.
He has, and he's just been. I mean, as much as I liked Endgame, and it was fun for a minute. I'm glad to see Thor back. In the war. Can you imagine though? I did hear this, and I know this is basically the CinemaCon trailer. Apparently, that's what I think Jeremy Johns was talking about it. If they had managed to keep a lid on Chris Evans, and if this trailer had been the reveal of that, I think it would have hit much harder.
I actually completely agree. I think that in order to have faith brought back to the fans, they actually biffed their best marketing. I don't think they should have. I think they pretty much should have been like revealing only certain characters. I don't think they should have given away so much of the cast. I don't think they should have shown that anyone but maybe Thor was returning, and then have the others like appear in the trailer. And I think they're going to have some surprises for the movie itself.
Oh yeah.
But we'll just have to see.
We will.
I don't know. I'm going to be seeing Dune first.
I'll definitely be seeing both that weekend. Dune though. I'm more excited about Dune, but I'm still genuinely curious about Doomsday for sure. So we'll see. I'm sure we'll be talking about that a whole lot more at the end of the year. So
yes, I believe that we shall be.
Yeah, because we'll also be back in the MCU at the end of the year, so it'll work out well. Actually, not the end of the year, the very, very beginning of the year, so kind of right afterwards. But anyways, curious, of course, we will be continuing the next phase, as the last 2 years, we've kind of opened the year. We'll be doing the same thing next year, so. Tonight, though, Predators. So this was like, okay, how long had...
20 years.
Okay, Predator 2 was 90? Or, sorry, was... When was the Predator 2 released? I should have had this ready, sorry.
The Predator 2? Or Predator
the
2?
Predator 2.
There is no The Predator 2.
Just Predator 2 then.
Yes.
Sorry.
I'm being pedantic. No, it is 1990s. It was 20 years in between the two. It was 3 years in between 2007's Alien vs. Predator Requiem and 2010's.
Well, so this was 20 years from Predator 2. And then, So, Requiem to that. So, it only been 3 years since Requiem, is what I was looking for. So, we had seen a Predator on screen 3 years earlier, not in a good movie, but this definitely, I just, spoiler right away, I really like this movie. It definitely is its flaws, but I'm a big fan of this movie. It's I think, I was talking to my daughter about this. We were going on a walk because I watched this today just to kind of refresh myself before recording. And we were talking about sequels and the ways that you can do sequels, because you're tied. I brought this up briefly last week about, if you have, trying to continue franchises when they have a really good, original, and then if the sequel is also really good. Predator 2 is not an amazing sequel, but I also think that it didn't fall for trying to just do the same thing again. It did try to do something different. And this movie was an interesting way of revisiting the first film's vibe, but trying to find, some different things to throw in there. Things like an alien planet, things like, well, what if you don't have a team? What if they're all, you have people meeting each other at the same time? The idea that a lot of them are kind of bad people, multiple predators. I mean, I like this movie, but
what
also
if the title
paper,
could refer to more than just the creature?
And the cast also, I know. But you know what I mean? Like, there's...
No, not the... I was talking about the, the humans are themselves.
That's what I said.
predators.
I said the cast. I
thought you meant like one of the creepy people. Like an actor or something. I'm like, Robert Rodriguez is weird. Walton Goggins is weird, but I don't know if they're like predators or not.
No, I meant the characters are also predators. I mean, you could say the same thing about the first movie, right? You got a Spec Ops team; those are predators themselves of the human variety. But this, I mean, they did genuinely try to introduce enough differences that this is not just, well, if we just go back to the jungle again, that'll be great. Because it was just that, I think it would have been much worse if they had just basically been like, we're just gonna. I could see a studio going, just have another Spec Ops team be hunted in the jungle because that works so well. I could absolutely see some unimaginative studio head being just like, just do the first one again. It's a new special ops team and they got new tech this time, and so the Predator has to have new tech too. And it's a whole. And they think it's like, no, you need more than that. You need more than just a jungle again. You need to create. And the idea of whoever came up with the idea, apparently this was based on a script or an idea that Rodriguez had written like back in the 90s, from what I understand.
That is correct.
Yeah.
You see, I'll always remember that there was this Predator sequel idea that was put on Reddit at one point, because when I was on Reddit a lot, I followed the Predator Reddit subreddit. And there was this one that was an idea that actually sounded really good. It was this idea of essentially the humans getting caught between, there's two different stories playing out where there's a special operations team up in like the snowy north somewhere in like a war with Russia or something, that they're getting hunted by a predator. And then there's another predator that's like a bad blood, which is actually something that we're going to talk about in this movie, which is a predator that's been exiled for being dishonorable, that was like crashed in Africa, and it's like tearing its way through Africa and Europe trying to get to this other predator so it could steal its ship and escape. And you had like this one guy who was kind of putting the pieces together about what's happening and trying to hunt the bad blood predator in order to like stop it and find out what's going on with the other team and save them at the same time. And it actually was a really interesting story. And I always wanted to see more stuff like that, where it's similar enough, but it changes the dynamic a little bit. Because I do believe that there's a magic to certain franchise movies like this you have to keep, but changing the dynamic of what's happening in order to make it new enough to keep it interesting without losing what made it special. And that's really hard to do. And this movie, I think, actually does pretty good.
Yeah. I'm surprised this movie has a very kind of mid reputation. Like most of the reputable aggregates for this movie give it like, 5.5 to 6, kind of somewhere in there. I mean, it's definitely like, it's not a movie that's like considered bad, but this movie critically seems to be very like, it was fine. And like not much more than that. And I mean, not that I consider this movie a masterpiece or anything, but like it's a solid sequel. It's lean. It's got good actors. It's,
excellent actors
for the most part.
Like especially by today's standards, like Walton Goggins really hit a stride in the last like 4 years.
Because this was, I think this was Justified was kind of in the middle of its run during this, right? I think this is during Justified.
Justified hadn't even started yet.
Really? Okay. Maybe.
Yeah, because Justified, I believe, started in 2011 or 2012.
Justified.
Justified was 2010, so this was actually the first. This came out at the same time as the first season of Justified.
Okay, so Justified was just about to get going. He had been in The Shield a little bit. That was kind of the only other notable thing he had done. Because at this point, obviously, Justified, he was huge. White Lotus, I don't care about, but he's in that. Cool. Fallout, obviously, he's fantastic as the Gould. Not the Gould, just the Gould.
Gould? Yeah, that's right. Gould. He's a Gould.
Oh gosh.
Well, you're just like Hammond. What about these Goulds? But the thing is, everything that I had ever seen Walton Goggins in up to this point, because you have to think about kind of where this is coming from. All right, like starting from the bottom, I never saw The Shield. It was 2007. Come on. I was watching CSI. I was watching Criminal Minds. I was watching CSI Miami. I know that he was on that. Predators, Cowboys and Aliens, Django Unchained. I believe that he was in the beginning of like one of the G.I. Joe movies. And then just all the way up through these things until he gets to like Tomb Raider and Ant-Man and the Wasp. He always plays the same character of this, like, he's gross, he's creepy, he's a serial killer. He has that look.
He does.
And that attitude. You go watch Justified, and that's like his trademark.
Yeah.
It's not until the recent couple of years when you're hitting like Hateful Eight, um, and especially Fallout and stuff like that. And suppose I have seen parts of the White Lotus with him in it, and I hate that show, The Burning Passion, but he is weird and he does a really good job in it. But yeah, he's great. And
Your cat.
he was finally able to break out. Francis, be quiet.
I suspect people actually like hearing your cat because I know that. Hey, we're just dudes in like our various desks at home. This is most definitely not a professional production. So, but yeah, no. I mean, Adrian Brody. It's interesting because he really became notable in the early 2000s when he won the Academy Award for The Pianist. And what's interesting though, he's played several like kind of hard-edged characters. I mean, he was in Peaky Blinders. He was what was the other thing? I mean, recently he was in The Brutalist. He was in King Kong, the Peter Jackson King Kong movie.
Mm-hmm. He was the main love interest in that.
Yeah, he has the face of like a period piece, right? He just instantly works in a period piece. He has that old world look in his face. He's a phenomenal actor. I mean, but I
seeing this interview where somebody's like, "Yes, he works so well in The Pianist. He looks like a Jew."
I'm not going to disagree, but I won't say it either. Oh gosh. But he's
but yeah, I remember him like just in small things. I remember my dad watching like The Thin Red Line, and it was like after King Kong. So it was after King Kong, and so I'm just like, that's that guy, and he's just in this tiny little role.
Yeah.
But he's not actually in a lot, but he does. He does well.
Yeah, I feel like he's one of those actors that's more interested in something that's he's interested in being part of projects that he wants to be versus just kind of taking everything. I know in interviews he talked about that he just was like, just doing like an action guy, he never played this kind of a character, and it was appealing to him. And he really does the intense kind of gritty guy well. And towards the end, like you can tell he put the work in too, because when he's got his shirtless stuff at the end of this movie, he doesn't look bad at all.
No, he really worked to put on muscle and do well.
Yeah.
Now there's a funny thing. Okay, I remember it was here. I'm gonna look it up. It was 2015. Okay, there's this movie called The Dragon Blade. Okay,
it just sounds bad.
Which is when corrupt Roman leader Tiberius arrives with a giant army to sack the Silk Road, Huo An and his teams up his army with an elite legion of defected Roman soldiers led by General Lucius to protect his country and his new friends. And this is very much think of the 2015 China trying to break into the American market, and have Americans and Chinese people. It's Chinese propaganda about how great they are. And it's Jackie Chan, Adrian Brody, and John Cusack.
Okay.
And it was this big budget Chinese thing, and it went absolutely nowhere. And it was never even touched in the American markets because they were like, this is so bad.
So thinking of him too, I just looked it up. Same year. Okay. We talk about firearms a few times, and this movie's got some notable ones for sure.
Oh my gosh, I have the IMFDB open now because I was just reading through that thing.
The AA-12. So I was trying to think. The only other real notable appearance of the AA-12 for me was Terry Crews in The Expendables. Yes. And I just looked it up. In The Expendables, the first one, the one that is actually not a horrible film, was the same year, 2010. So you had... For me, if you said, movie use of an AA-12, I would think Predators and I would think Expendables, and they came out the same year. I find that interesting. I wonder if there was just an armor thing where they were like, yeah, this is a cool shit. I personally, I don't know what you'll think of this. I hate the AA-12. I think it's a stupid gun.
It's a really useless gun. It's it's not useless, but it's far less accurate than your standard shotgun. It's way heavier. I get the no recoil thing. That has its uses. But for having an 8 or 20 or 32 round box magazine. You have to be lugging around the whole
Oh
time
gosh.
in order to make this thing work. Like, and it jams a lot.
Yeah. I would if you asked me
Yeah.
to be, you know, be in this movie, like be one of these guys, and I am, but just to be completely transparent, I would die really fast. I'm not trying to say anything here. But if you ask me, like, what gun do you want? Or if they ask me first, what gun do you do not want? That would be very near the top of the list. I'm like, nope. Give me just an AK. Heck, even just a good AR, I would be happy with. But an AR-10, a little bit bigger round. I think a 308 or a 7.62 would be a good, balance between you could have a lot of rounds on you, but a gun that actually has some hitting power. This movie is interesting because you can tell they were going for distinct firearms. Like, nobody carries. I mean, even the really generic firearms in this movie, the AK that the Congo guy,
Marshall Ali's character.
Yeah, and then that's right.
Sierra Leone, Brian.
And then who's the guy that's in every Rodriguez movie? He's the cartel enforcer. He's in every Rodriguez movie.
Him, Danny Trejo.
Yeah, he's got the 2 MP5s.
Okay, so they really do customize all these weapons a lot.
Yeah, they still dress them up. Well, and even the sniper, that it's like the blaster something, right? It's actually called the blaster.
It's the
something.
Blaster R93. This one particularly being an LS2 model, which I mean, it has this really complicated scope on it, especially, which is actually a real scope and works for long range snipers. It has a lot of like really auto set things on it. It's really. I think that it's the most plausible weapon for somebody to actually be carrying as their like primary carry, because like, I mean, you have Mahershala Ali, his character Mombasa, and carrying an AKMS, and that is absolutely plausible. Don't get me wrong. And there's sidearms. There's an HK45C in here.
Mm-hmm.
There's this like a nickel plated Beretta, but even they give that a weird suppressor.
It's a compensator, not a suppressor, but yeah, that's the Yakuza guy, right?
Compensator?
Yeah, it's a compensator.
Oh, you're right. That is a compensator.
It's got the really weird muzzle flash on it, like the almost perfect like cross style like muzzle flash is super distinctive.
They have a like gold etched Colt Commander in here.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like these are all really interesting guns, but I hate them. And I hate how they look. I hate the look of that compensator. I don't like the AA-12. I despise with a burning passion the configuration on the MP5K that Danny Trejo carries, or the MP5Ks.
With the 2 shoulder holsters or whatever?
It's a single point sling. He's got 2 single point slings carrying this thing. They've got like these danglies coming off, these leather danglies coming off the foregrip.
You gotta accessorize, man.
And he like holds them down by his waist as he's like firing them. He's not looking down the sights. He only has so much ammo. He's not going to be able to hit anything. It's a short barreled, like no stock gun. He's actively being more harm than good in his little firefights with these things.
Yeah.
I have very trying to deal MP5Ks.
Yeah, trying to deal with a Predator with 9mm pistol ammo. It's just like, no, you need a rifle round. Yeah, I mean,
yes,
yeah, you really do. I do like the minigun in this though. It's the Russian character.
It's fine.
I'm glad when they gave it back though. I mean, sorry, I like his character. He's one of my favorite guys in this. I forget the character's name, but I mean, like, I like the fact you give the Russian the minigun, and he's got one of the most satisfying deaths in the movie. It's just very like, just like, you want to go, let's go, just man. And then the oddball, man, Topher Grace for like a year or two there was a big deal. I mean, the 70s show was very popular, and I actually don't mind the 70s show, but there was a couple years where they really wanted him to be a thing. I mean, and this was fairly far removed from Spider-Man 3. I mean, Spider-Man 3 was what, 2004 or 5?
7.
Was it that long?
Correct.
Did they take like 3 years in between each one? I thought that was earlier 2000s, but I'm sure you're right. But okay, so this was Yeah, because he did a few movies, and then he just kind of fell off the map. Which as much as I enjoy that '70s show, I like it for other characters besides him. So
Yeah.
I mostly like it for Red, right? Because I mean, he's the best character in that show. You dumbass.
I was never into that '70s show. I was a little bit young for it when it was first airing.
That's all right.
My parents grew up in the '70s, so they weren't interested in us watching it. But I think that he's really good, and the cast in this is. We should probably actually start it because it's not the shortest movie in the world.
Yeah.
Um,
It moves along
but
though, and Lawrence
it does.
Fishburne, obviously. I mean, you want to give us? We've already talked about most of them. Why don't you give us a quick rundown? Let's get this thing going.
Sure thing. We have this movie, Predators, not The Predator, not Predator, not The Predators. It's just Predators. It is directed by Nimrod Antal. It is made in the year 2010, rated R, thankfully. 1 hour and 47 minutes long, written by Alex Litvak, Michael Finch, and Jim Thomas, with the top cast being Adrian Brody, Lawrence Fishburne, Topher Grace, Alice Braga, Walton Goggins, Oleg Takhtarov, Danny Trejo, Louis Ozawa, Marshala Ali, and the people playing the Predators themselves include Carrie Jones, Brian Steele, and Derek Mears, who I think deserve to be mentioned because these guys are fantastic monster actors.
Yeah,
They're
it's like
so
a whole
great.
like side gig, right, in Hollywood.
Oh yeah, I mean, do you remember the Book of Boba Fett?
Yeah.
Black Chrysanthemum, the big like Wookiee bounty
Oh, yeah.
hunter. The main predator in this is Black Chrysanthemum. And he's worked in the makeup department of a whole bunch of other stuff while acting on the side. He's been a whole bunch of monsters in like The Mandalorian. He was Black Chrysanthemum. He's been in things like the Orville as creepy creatures and whatnot. Yeah, do you remember The Mandalorian season 3? There was that like seaweed looking pirate captain.
Oh, that's right. He was like, up in the ship. There was that. Yeah, I do remember that.
He was the seaweed captain.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, yeah, it's always interesting. As much as the writers, producers, and actors gain a decent amount of notoriety, there are so many behind the scenes people, and I mean, people who are on screen but doing things we don't see their face, that deserve so much credit for like just great things that is produced in the film world, that just their names are not they don't become household for for various reasons. So I mean, back in the day, Peter David Hall was the original Predator, and he was Darth Vader, right? I'm not crazy.
Yes, I believe that he was.
Yeah, but I mean, like similar, just somebody who brought so many memorable things to life in so many ways. But yeah, it's just the way it goes, though.
Yeah, it is indeed.
But we can't hit play until you rate our podcast, or comment, or say something nice about us, something mean about us. Just give us some feedback. We want your feedback. So if you wouldn't mind, we would really appreciate it, and I would always enjoy hearing from you guys and hearing about how awful we are. We enjoy that. I keep encouraging that, and I haven't had to say everybody's too nice. You know what, Zach? The only comments that I see are people who like us for some reason. I don't know why, because this is an insanely cringy podcast at times. But we have a good time.
You must judge someone by the quality of their enemies. We don't have any right now.
We don't have any.
I don't know how to judge my quality.
Oh gosh. But no, if you do want to, we appreciate any feedback, and if you want to tell somebody else who you think might enjoy virtually hanging out with us and watching these films, we'd appreciate it. So with that, get ready to hit that play button in 3, 2, 1, go.
Dun, my dun, wife dun. Walked by to feed the cats, and she noticed that we hadn't played the movie yet, and she gave me this look like, "You're gonna be here forever, you stupid man."
The whole reason we have this podcast is because we, unfortunately or fortunately, like chatting, and we're like, well, we gotta be grown-ups and schedule it these days, or else it doesn't happen.
Ugh, I know, right? It's terrible. But yeah, there was apparently an idea for the 20th Century Fox logo to turn into like Predator Vision halfway through, and that was actually going to begin the movie. and because they wanted a shock value way to begin the movie, but they needed the whole 75 thing because it
Yeah.
was the 75th anniversary of 20th Century Fox, and they had a special logo for it, so they nixed it.
Okay.
Instead, we get this opening,
You get this. I
which
do love
is
the
a
whole
good
like
opening.
let's open the parachutes like last minute because it's obviously it's like an auto thing on his parachute, right?
Yeah,
and two
it's
things.
supposed to
One,
be an altimeter.
yeah. So one, it opens last minute, and two, the AA-12 on his back, kind of comes in and out depending on where we are in the frame. The way he lands, the thing would have killed him. just snapped his back.
Just a little. I remember that was actually the opening shot of the trailer for this movie. Was just the guy falling through the sky.
Like right here. Boom. Like just
Yeah. It's a ballsy way to open a movie.
It is. I mean, I love that it just gets right to it. Like
that actually makes something kind of interesting though, because they had filmed a whole opening scene with his abduction, but decided not to use it. Technically, this movie is a 2-act movie by movie structure standards. I don't necessarily think that's true.
So,
but
would you consider
all the
the
writers
second?
And the director are like, yeah, it's kind of like a 2-act movie.
Do you consider the
It's
second
funny.
act like when they meet Lawrence Fishburne, or?
Yeah,
I
like
mean,
there's, yeah.
I guess I could see where you would make that argument. I'm not sure I'd agree with it either, but I understand how you could frame that argument.
Yeah.
The other thing that this is one of those movies where you can tell they really wanted to give them all distinct looks, right? In their gear and everything. And for the most part, I appreciate that nobody comes in perfectly clean. I always am like, nobody has like proper amounts of like backup ammo on them. Like nobody has any, like they wouldn't last more than 2. And they do mention ammo in this movie a few times, but people are falling out of the sky.
Yeah.
Danny Trejo.
I remember, so they did this whole comic book thing, okay? Where they gave each of these characters a comic book origin to just kind of show how evil they are or something like that, or why they've been chosen. And they even have one for this guy who was like an American like special forces soldier, because they had this whole thing where they wanted to really show that they wanted to showcase people who weren't just American military, because that was the most common thing in all of these movies is American special forces soldiers. So you're doing the most deadly soldiers in the world, obviously you gotta have a Navy SEAL or something, and they didn't want it to just be that, because this was like middle of war in Iraq type of thing. And they still wanted to reference like they would be included in this group. They're just not, because, well, he died. His chute didn't open and he got squished.
Interesting too. I was watching some of the reading some of the trivia. Depending on the frame you're looking at, his barrels don't appear to be rotating at times, and it could be that the speed of the rotation was actually too synced up with the frame rate of the camera, or it could be that just the prop wasn't spinning correctly. Because most miniguns for film are actually slowed down so you can see them. They actually aren't firing nearly as fast as they could, just because if they fired at full speed, it actually wouldn't look as cool.
Yeah, and if you ever see a minigun in a movie or something where it needs to like speed up in order to, like, it needs to start rotating in order to start firing, it's especially common in video games, that's not realistic.
No. Well, you and I both are fans of Jonathan Ferguson, his stuff. Yeah.
Ferguson,
if you've seen, whenever he talks about miniguns,
museum in the UK. Yes.
But and he thought at first it was the Terminator one or the Predator one. It turns out that it wasn't that one he got to hold, but it was the one from the Matrix that was in the helicopter.
Yes. Well, he tried. They wanted to use the minigun that was carried by Jesse Ventura's character in the original Predator, but they couldn't get that model properly anymore, so they had to use a different one that was technically in the Predator, but it was mounted inside of the helicopter. but it was another one that was handheld that's popped up in a lot of other movies.
Yeah, this is such a odd sniper rifle. I mean, I appreciate that the scope is very distinct, but it's just like you said, all you can see that the on the MP5s there, the really distinct kind of leather things, and then his AA-12 too. It's got like a wrap on it that if you look at some of the details around like the ejection port and stuff, you can tell that it was kind of a hastily done wrap. It didn't quite get done perfectly. And also too, when he cycles it, if you watch him, because the charging is on the top, and he like actually has to physically push it forward like twice in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's the guns are like, they really, you can tell they tried to make them all distinct. They gave them all very distinct guns, and for the most part, visually they look distinct too. But the fact that like nobody has any extra anything on them. Which is, I mean, the closest you get is Adrian Brody. He's got his single, he's got ammo, but Adrian Brody's character has a single spare drum on his, like, the back, like, a small of his back, and that's it. And then, of course, the dog. Okay, Topher Grace, I was kind of crapping on him a little bit. He does a good job in this movie. I do feel like it was just a weird turn, if that makes sense. Not a weird turn, but just... Like, you knew that, why would he be here? He's got to be dangerous somehow. But it's just I finally get a chance to be evil. Mm. And it was just very cliche, like, I'm finally alone with a woman. So now is my chance to turn into a creepy murderist, rapist or something, at the end. It was odd. I think it was used as a way that you didn't feel bad at all when he was used as a booby trap.
Mm-hmm.
But Topher Grace acts well in this movie. I just don't. Go ahead.
Do you know about Topher Grace's secret talent?
Go for it.
He likes to edit films, and he did a couple movies that apparently were pretty tough on his mental health, and he took a break. And one of the things he did as a hobby is he re-edited the Hobbit movies into the Tolkien cut. And he just he re-edited them into a single movie that was only what was in the books, and he then put it online as a torrent, and a lot of people really like it.
Okay, I think you've told me that before, but I've not seen that.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean the whole, like, death row inmate. That's just like later on when we have that awkward scene where he's talking and Topher Grace, and he's talking about, like, it's time for, like, raping and murdering, and just saying it like everybody would agree with him, and Topher Grace is like, okay. It's
like, sir.
He does pull it off well. Oh man,
look at him, he's such a baby.
Yeah,
but he's just, there's something to his eyes naturally. Yeah. There's something about his brow and his eyes that just says, I'm crazy and creepy.
Well, and also he's just got that very distinct widow's peak, right? I mean, it's a Bruce Willis level, widow's peak.
Oh yeah. I mean, if he could shed the Southern accent, if you wrapped him in Joker makeup around this time of year, he'd be physically perfect.
Yeah.
Around this time of year, around this year,
this era.
It's not like you only wrap him up at Christmas. This is Walton Goggins, our Christmas Joker.
Topher Grace is hanging around.
Yeah.
Do something. He did fall, like, really well, but then when he stands up here, like, the depth of the water right here versus when he stands up is like, I mean, it's funny, but it also doesn't make sense, right? This is one of those movies that there is so much nitpicking you can do in this movie. I also just kind of, this is a good example to me of a movie that what it does that I enjoy is good enough that I just don't care as much as I can sit here and come up with stuff constantly. And I'll bring it up as we watch it. None of it makes the movie less fun for me, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, I'm the same way. Like I said, if this was a worse movie, you could nitpick it to hell. If it was a better movie, you wouldn't notice any of it. But it's in that kind of middle ground of, like, it's flawed, but good.
Yeah. The fact here that this tells you so much that he doesn't, like, try to shy away, just like it tells you a ton about his. I mean, they do manage, as much as all these characters are as cliche as you can possibly get.
Mhm.
They do manage to
simple
give
characters.
almost all of them one or two moments that are distinct and cool. This guy, he's just. I mean, what do you say? What do the kids say these days? He's just vibing this whole movie.
He has aura.
Aura or farming, is that what it's called? I'm definitely not a kid anymore. Is aura
That's
farming
right.
the thing?
So vibing is when you're just kind of chilling out with everything going on. Aura farming is when you are like doing something where you don't have to say it, and you are thus like, um, kind of exemplifying it, like Darth Vader just walking down a hallway menacingly.
Yeah.
This is having aura.
Okay,
To
so
aura
this
farm is to just be like standing there, having presence.
okay. So I mean, out of all these characters, he's definitely the one I think with the most aura. Then he's just
Yeah, I would
you know,
agree with that.
especially because I mean, by not having him speak pretty much at all, it helps a lot.
Yeah.
Where you're basically using your imagination. See, he pulls his drum off and puts it back on multiple times too. Like even when he's not, like I don't know if he's just jamming or he's got to constantly check it. It's just
Or reloading anytime he puts a shot through it.
that's true. It's just a horrible. Okay, so what would you pick
Bad guy.
as we're getting in here? If you were like, what's your rifle pistol combo? If you were in this scenario?
environment, you'd have to pick an AK of some kind. Like as much as I love
Modern ARs are
like a
very
classic
reliable.
AR setup,
Like a
an
modern
AK,
AR.
it's not going to jam in this weather. You know,
Hmm.
it'll survive better. You get the right one, and it'll even be a little bit lighter. Because most of it's stamped, not milled. Yeah. So I'd have to think. I didn't think about that, Brian. Like, do I know that I'm going up against predators?
Yes.
Something with a thermal optic.
Yes. There you
Uh,
go.
So, given that, okay, realistically, all right, given that I know it, I would take some sort of M4, probably a carbine to, a little bit of good range, but for the most part, lighter, wieldy, thermal optic, um, preferably with some sort of nods, but that's different.
Yeah.
And
Handgun.
a
There's
simple sidearm
only
that I know.
one.
I like my SIG, so I'd go with the SIG sidearm.
See, the handgun is definitely you go with the 10 mil, the kind of
something bigger.
you go with
A
something
45, yeah, maybe like a 45.
Well, so 45 would be great, but like 10 mil, like the Glock 10 mil is like what you carry when you're in bear country. Like it literally was built like for that kind of stuff, and I'm like, I
was thinking about that. I was thinking specifically about like a 357. I'm a big fan of 357 revolvers, especially in like dirty areas because they're easier to clean and keep functional.
They're very reliable too.
Yeah, reliability is essentially what I meant. So because my brain was first saying that, but I was also thinking just how heavy it is. But if I'm going up against a predator, I'd probably want a 357.
Yeah. But yeah, something.
This flower is actually a real flower that they're sitting here looking at, but it's been extinct for a long time. Also, this is supposed to be a hint that he's a liar because he said he didn't have anything to cut himself down with when he was hanging, and now we're sitting here and he has a scalpel.
Yeah. Also, is it interesting that there would be fauna on this alien planet that he would immediately like recognize?
I would assume that they wouldn't be just bringing in deadly things that are people.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Now, this was mostly shot in Hawaii, I believe, right? Most of the outdoor stuff.
That's correct. It was shot in Hawaii and Texas. And this, that's one of the things I like about this movie. It's so practical.
Yeah.
Like, so many practical effects, some CG, and some of the CG is unfortunately wonky.
Yeah. There's an explosion later that is rough. It's really, really bad.
This actress, though, Alice Braga, character of Isabel, she was on kind of a roll when this movie was coming out. She was leading she was female leading I Am Legend. This The movie The Right with Anthony Hopkins that came out year after. Elysium. Do you remember Elysium?
You know what's funny? I haven't seen it since theaters, but I do remember it.
But yeah, she kind of went on the back burner for a while because obviously her movies didn't sell super well. But I remember she was in like the New Mutants from 2020, which was just awful. But she's just kind
Never.
of been in stuff every now and again.
I never saw the New
Yeah.
Mutants. She is
Nope.
good in this. I mean, it's I do like that they represent, you know, the IDF. It just, if you're gonna have, you know, if you're gonna have a lot of your kind of bigger, you know, impressive militaries, I don't mind at all because, you know, females serve in the Israeli military without any kind of issue over there. So there's nothing, you know, non-PC or whatever. But I just like, shut up if you think that that's a problem, because they absolutely exist, especially in the IDF. And then she does a good job in this movie.
Mhm.
The idea that she's a sniper, I mean, it works. As much as a
I mean,
sniper
it's actually
rifle,
been proven. It has been absolutely proven that women will often make better snipers than men.
yes, there's some caveats to that, but you're not wrong.
There are caveats.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But
No,
there's
I mean,
empirical data about
Yeah.
how well they can function as a sniper versus
Yeah.
men.
in general, women are, if they're interested, are in general fantastic shots. So I think
Well,
it's
also long distance shots. It has a lot to do with like cones, but also their ability to sit still for long periods of time. A smaller frame, better like smell and eye perception.
Yeah.
Some really
But
good stuff
she's-
to it. Like some of those, the most deadly, second most deadly sniper of World War II was a woman.
he must have two knives. I just realized that because he's hacking away here,
Yes,
but he's
he
also
does.
got his knife up on his chest rig.
Yeah, he has a one smaller knife and one larger knife. The larger knife he keeps on his leg. But having this group kind of instantly work together, I actually kind of like that. You do have people who have problems, but
Oh, there's
these are also professional killers, and
Yeah.
they're all like group killers. These are people who would have, with the exception of the serial killer who is the problem, these are people who have worked and trained in squads.
Yeah.
And they're practical, because if you're going to be, I'm going to go off on my own, you're going to die. So these are people who know their shit.
Yeah.
And they're doing it.
And there is nothing like a situation like this that would make people be like, you know what? Yeah, there's some issues here, but let's figure that out later. Right now, let's just figure out how not to die.
Yeah. Yeah, there's that compensator.
It's weird. So when we get to the point where he starts shooting it, like, watch the muzzle flash pattern. It is so distinct, and I always wondered if that's a real. I would assume so. This is a very practical film. Again, like you said, I believe a lot of blanks were used, and it certainly seems like it would be an actual blank pattern coming out.
Yeah. I don't know. Actually, I was sitting here, I was trying to look it up and see if that like it's known for that, but I can't find the exact.
Well, I mean, I know the Movie Gun Database definitely noticed it also, and I mean, I noticed it when I watched it earlier. I mean, it's you know, a 92F. It's interesting because, you know, it's a kind of a hated gun by a lot of people. I get it. It's also a very distinct gun. I mean, it has one of the, you know, they've got a lot of 1911s in this movie. They've got, you know, she's got an H&K. You've got that gold Colt Commander that I think the cartel guy has. So having, like, I don't know, if you think of like a silver, like a nickel gun, it works. I still would rather have almost anything else if I was gonna face. He's much more effective when he gets his samurai sword later, even though he dies.
Much. Oh,
It's a great
he's one
scene.
of my favorite characters. I low key wished that he had like survived. You know.
Yeah. I get
and
why
had
they
put
did
in some
that,
sort of,
but
like, hint. They need to kill him.
yeah, I mean, this is, you know, I feel like this is our.
Here they have all these traps, and you'll notice that each of these traps are the same traps that Arnold Schwarzenegger set up in the first Predator.
There's a lot of spikes coming down.
Yeah.
Woo! Right there, he's got his reflexes.
Good job dodging.
He's nice.
Yeah.
But also
Yeah,
too,
lots
just
of
the
spike traps. This is.
oh
Oof.
that would just. Can you imagine? I mean, just
They
how
looked at a lot of traps that were. They looked at a lot of traps that were used in Vietnam.
makes
Um,
sense.
and
Well, I mean,
yeah,
Schwarzenegger's character in the original Predator probably would have been like a late Vietnam vet
yes,
in that
according to the
film.
novelization, he was. That they were all Vietnam veterans.
Yeah, which makes sense for them, because you had special forces in there, into the 70s, obviously. So once you get into the 80s, yeah, you would have had a lot of those guys that were still. I mean, a lot of special forces, definitely came out of what I mean, you can take it all the way back, right, to the guerrilla tactics and the Revolutionary War, but then you have,
You want to take it all the way back? It's Gideon in the Bible.
it's true, but you had, I mean, there was that spirit, but then you had, the OSS and stuff in World War
Like
II.
the special boat service.
Yeah,
When
but you really
the guy
had
wanted clearance for special forces things, and they said that it wouldn't work, so he got a little boat and he snuck onto the commander's ship and
yeah.
nailed the proposal to the inside of his cabin door, and then paddled back.
But the yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's I need to watch that movie. I've heard that it's mixed, but
Oh, what movie?
that just came out last year. Ungentlemanly Warfare with Henry
Oh,
Cavill.
the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. Yes, that was fun.
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
I didn't
and I
get
need
to see all of it, but it was good. There's a TV show on the SAS that's very interesting. Also, you should check that out if you can.
Okay, but I know that
Over
I
the
mean
top, but
the
fun.
Vietnam era is where what we consider kind of modern special forces really kind of was birthed in the Vietnam era, but by both
Mhm.
British and American forces. I mean, pretty much everything has kind of been an evolution of that, what we think of as modern special forces. So,
Yeah, but they find this guy, and he was obviously surviving there for a while. There was a comic run following this character where he was actually friends, big quotes, with the character of Roland. Uh, oh, you can see the Predator in that scene, by the way. If you look really closely, you can see it shimmering. Um, but he's friends with Lawrence Fishburne's character,
nice.
and they fought together and stuff like that. And he died like 2 weeks before this. What do you think of the up-resed Predator?
I was
vision?
just about
It
to
doesn't
say,
look right to me.
One of my biggest, if I had to like say things that genuinely bothered me about this film, I actually don't like a lot of the modern, like when I say modern, like I guess it is the newer Predator stuff. I think the vision's a little bit too smooth.
Crispy.
I don't like the line on the side. I think it's just it looks, I don't know. It's not
Well, the
horrible
line was
by
there
any
in the
means.
original.
It was,
Or
but
not
it's
the
just,
original. It was there in Predator 2.
yeah, it's just
Because-
it's too
oh.
clean.
We didn't talk about that, where there were actually some rights issues with Predator 2, so they weren't allowed to talk about or acknowledge the events of Predator 2 in this movie.
Really?
Mhm.
Okay. Because I mean, obviously, they directly talk about the first film. She kind of tells them the story when she recognizes the one tied up.
Mhm.
Now this, okay, this is something that you can kind of hand wave away just in that, like,
What?
I mean-
Freaking Jupiter?
I mean, there's no way, I'm going to use Star Trek terminology here, an M-class planet would have celestial bodies this close to it. But it sure is a cool skybox. I'll give it that.
It is. If it had just been the one planet up top, you could like hand wave away that this is a moon. But having that gas giant that is essentially like a PNG of Jupiter hanging there, like,
You'd
kills
rip
it
the
for me.
atmosphere off this planet, and you would.
Yes. The tidal forces on this thing would have them walking diagonal.
Yeah, but I mean, they wanted something that would. I mean, and the thing is, all they needed to do was have like 2 moons or something, something like that. That's all you needed to.
Two
Have-
moons is done a little bit much. I think that if they had done a single planet,
We're like
that-
there on a moon.
like there on a moon, and then give it rings, I think that would have been cool. And
That would've been
maybe
cool, too.
like a junker ship that's like floating in pieces or something. I don't know. There were other things they could have done that would have been just as cheap or just as expensive.
I do love this. I want a gun.
Everybody's got the guns, and he's just got this little shiv.
This is also like,
did you read the thing?
this is like a
Did you
very
read the thing about
realistic
Danny
moment.
Trejo's casting?
I mean, I just assumed it's Rodriguez, so he had to be in it. But what were you gonna say?
That's just it. So this was produced by Robert Rodriguez. For those who don't, and Danny Trejo and Robert Rodriguez worked together on virtually everything. Danny Trejo, like he was in Spy Kids, he was in Machete, he was in Dusk Till Dawn, all that, and he he got the script for this movie through his agent because his agent thought it was hilarious. They described this Mexican guy, and it is specifically mentioned that this dangerous cartel member was supposed to be Danny Trejo-like. And so Danny Trejo calls Robert Rodriguez and says, I know somebody who's Danny Trejo-like. It's me. And that,
I mean,
it was just like, great.
yeah.
I thought you were busy.
It does work. I mean, he's the first one to die, so you kind of get him out of the way quickly.
That was just it. He didn't think that the part was big enough for Danny Trejo to want to do it, and he didn't think that they could necessarily pay for Danny Trejo. But Danny Trejo apparently really likes Predator. He likes working with Robert Rodriguez, who is not the director of this, but was heavily involved in the production.
Yeah.
And yeah. Another really interesting thing.
I hate that they're all firing from that. He's firing from the hip too. It's annoying.
Yeah.
Okay, right there.
Like,
that muzzle flash.
That is an odd one because a compensator should be like pushing down. I'm fairly certain it got hit by one of the AA-12 rounds for it to do that.
May have. And two, I get that this is the scene it needs to be really kind of all, but it's like, it's very, there's that gold commander. It's, none of them, except for maybe her, are acting like professionals all of a sudden. It's all very just, he's just unloading with his AA-12 from the hip. He's supposed to be this like dangerous killer. And it's just, it doesn't fit with the way his character is presented later in the movie or throughout the entire movie.
It's inconsistent. But I wanted to talk about these dogs real fast, these hounds. Because they're built over after a skull that's present in Predator 2 on the wall with the alien. They got them. But they also wanted this idea of like fox hunters, and like these are the hunting dogs.
Makes sense.
Also, wrong AK sounds. That's an annoyance of mine. It is a good sound for an AA-12 though.
Yes.
But
well, he pulls out his knife and not his. He's got a gun. But yeah, I mean, he decapitated. He decapitated.
His kappa was detated from his body.
The fact that he decapitated that thing in one swing with his big old knife, like that's, I mean, this is she's got she's got 45. I hate here that she like breaks against professionalism and just starts like this whole I fall down and I don't know.
It is an alien. I mean, some people have got limits.
Maybe. Again, they put a big compensator into that. This is before the first John Wick, right?
Yeah, because this has a 10-round, like it's one of those, what do they call it? Like an elephant foot magazine?
Yeah, elephant foot or extended round.
And then they've got the weird, is it a compensator or is it just a long barrel?
That's a compensator.
That's a weird compensator. I'm not good. I don't know much about compensators. I've never used anything with a compensator.
So if you see
it's not
holes,
my forte.
Yeah, no. If you see holes on the sides of it, especially near the top, it's a compensator. A suppressor is going to be a solid cylinder. It's the biggest difference.
Compensating for something.
Well, okay. I mean, again,
you can't blame me for the Yakuza gun then, because it has a very cylindrical.
It does.
Top.
It does.
It looks like one of those.
I've fired an HK-45 several times, and I mean they're good guns. Just not a lot of capacity, but it's because the HK the P30 with the big compensator end of it was in the first John Wick movie very prominently, obviously, and that's kind of brought it back into.
Yeah, so now they're talking about conserving ammunition.
Yeah, after you just like from quite a distance. You're just unloading You're shocked. I mean, I appreciate that he's actually reloading off of his chest rig, so when it's empty for the rest of the movie, it makes sense. Like, there's little things like that are really good.
Oh, there was another thing that I wanted to bring up about those dogs. Did you read anything about Roger Ebert's review of this movie?
I did not. I'm guessing he wasn't a fan.
He actually gave it medium review, but his review was because this was mentioned in one of the retrospectives. Oliver Harper has a good retrospective on this, and not New Rockstars, the other one. Heavy Spoilers has a great review of this as well. But they bring up that Ebert's review is weirdly fixated on these dogs. He's just talking about them and how weird he thought they looked and how he wished they were a little bit more alien, but he thought they looked cool and he wanted to see more of them. Like, he got, like, go read his review. Half of it is about the dogs.
It is odd that they get called back and then you never see them again. Like, I feel like they should have shown up at least one more time. It is odd.
This was a great moment, though. Right here. Like, help me.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, especially when she shoots him, and you realize, and you realize, I was talking about, this is one of those franchises too, where normally in a movie like this, I would criticize.
We have to go help him.
Well, I was gonna say, I would criticize a movie like this, almost immediately. If it's like, okay, the Predator obviously could have killed him anytime. Why is he taking his time? Why? And this movie is one of those where it totally works because he'd be like, no, he wants the sport of them running away. He wants the sport of intimidating them and making them scared. And I mean, because it's a sport, you're allowed to get away with some stuff that in a regular action film wouldn't work.
Yeah.
So obviously there's a Predator right there who could easily kill one or two of them right now without even trying, but that's not the point.
Nope.
I do think when we get to the camp here in just a little bit, is that no? I do think that there's definitely some appropriate profanity in this movie for the situation, right? It's like, yeah. Exactly. That the Predator that's basically almost a perfect replica of the original in look is kind of the weak one that dies really fast.
Yeah.
It's like, aw. Do you know?
So
there's a lot of. Go ahead.
We haven't talked about Mahershala Ali. We'll do that in a moment. Go ahead and continue.
I was just say, it is. What do you think of the idea of like the different classes of Predators, or the idea? Because this kind of reintroduced in the lore, right? That you had the two layers of Predators, and you have like the dishonorable Predator and the
Well, you actually have like multiple levels of Predator throughout the lore. They have a bunch of different classes. They have like the ones that stay at home. They have the hunters. This was originally going to have a sexy female Predator in it when Robert Rodriguez was directing.
I believe that.
And then they were also going to introduce the Bad Bloods, or because there's a difference, because there's like criminal predators, there's feral predators, there's Bad Bloods. There's a couple of different distinctions, but this was supposed to be introducing specifically. Oh, I wasn't able to point it out, but that last scene, you could clearly see that the barrels of the minigun were plugged.
Yeah.
But this all kind of stuff. This is supposed to be a planet, according to the script and some of the other stuff, where they were sent out to this planet in order to redeem themselves because they were like criminals. They were Bad Bloods, or they were ferals, or something like that.
Yeah.
It's gross. But they do a lot of good character building with Isabella. She wasn't going to be like the co-lead. She was just supposed to be kind of another one of the group, but they really developed her character mostly because they needed a female lead. But they wanted to make her kind of the heart of the group, and they do really well at that without compromising like her professionalism, I guess, outside of that one moment that you brought up earlier, I think.
Yeah, and I mean, and you're right. You could write that into this is not a regular scenario, because I do think that Royce, right? That's what he at the very end he tells him. It tells her
Adrian
his name
Brody's character says
Royce.
his name is Royce.
He is he does a good job of playing kind of your cliche kind of hard man, right? The one that's just. But I think if you hadn't made Isabella, her character a woman, it would have been more difficult for him. For you to have believed that she would have softened him a tiny bit. I mean, I don't know if you're listening to this, if you care about, gender types or just the fact that, generally speaking, certain things are true when two genders interact with each other. But it is a man, even a really hard man, would respond differently, in my opinion, to a woman than another just soldier. And so it helps the nuances they're going for with his character and the turn that his character kind of goes through, where he doesn't get on the ship. Good thing, by the way, because he would have died. Where he doesn't get on the ship and kind of has a little bit of a change of heart, and he takes her input differently. Because I do appreciate that, even though he dismisses her a couple times, not in a like he disrespects her, but just kind of in a I'm going to do what I'm going to do, and if you don't like it, you can stay here. But he never treats her as though somehow she is less of a soldier, if that makes sense. So he shows her respect, yet at the same time he responds to her in a way that's realistic, because she's a woman. That's my long-winded way of saying all that. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think that they did a really good idea for those ones.
Yeah.
But man, so because Mahershala Ali is about to bite it here, actually. He was cast as Blade almost 7 years ago.
And
they never did anything with it.
Yeah, he makes such a
well,
good
they
Blade too.
mentioned it in the recent Tier 2026 San Diego Comic-Con. Kevin Feige says that he thinks that it might be his greatest professional failure that they weren't able to get that movie made with him.
Yeah. He's again just a fantastic actor.
He is. There are some difficulties working with him. He's a devout Muslim, and it creates some limitations about what he's willing to do. And I'm not saying he's like a problematic person, but he only accepts very specific roles.
Yeah.
So it can be, and when he does, you have to be careful what you do in terms of the writing. But he is so good, and to think he's just kind of this little role, and he has a couple of other just small things. He was the bad guy in Luke Cage season 1. He was a side character in the last 2 Hunger Games movies. He was in House of Cards and the Alphas TV series on the Sci-Fi Network, which was like
I never watched that.
The more grounded X-Men. And then all of a sudden, boom, he's just freaking multiple Oscar winner.
But to say, because what did he win? I know the Green Room won. Did he win also for acting in it that year?
Green Book and Moonlight.
Or sorry, not Green Room, Green Book. You're right. Moonlight, that was the other one. You're right.
Nobody's really sure if Green Book actually or Moonlight actually won any of his Oscars. I don't know.
Was it La La? That was the year, right? It was La La Land was announced, and then
they announced it. It was like
it
was going to be La La Land, but they changed it and all this stuff.
Yeah.
It's weird. But
so here we
have the first actual sight of a predator.
Yeah, and this one is
fully
supposed
practical and it's drooling.
Yeah, and this is supposed to be almost a perfect, as like go close as they could get to recreating Stan Winston's original, right?
Correct. They went really out of their way for it. Like the amount, because this movie was actually made pretty quickly in terms of movies. It went through like less than a year and a half for like production, post-production.
Yeah. Well, they shot this thing in just like
sci-fi.
Just like 2 months, right? Like they shot this thing in like 60 days or somewhere around there. I mean, it was a fast shoot.
Yeah. They had it only for like 66 days or something like that.
I love the idea that he just like uses them as bait. I mean, it definitely says a lot again about his character that he's like, I mean, this whole behind, I mean, that he dies here. Oh man.
Yep.
Okay, we're about to have our first plasma caster shot. I do not like the effect for the plasma casters in this. I think they look too, like the bolt itself doesn't have I don't know. There's something missing, but there's also its impact. It's like this weird electrical kind of buzz. Like I think the impact was way better in the first two movies. Like I think we're about to have one here when it hits the minigun.
So I need to.
Yeah, it hits the minigun here in a second, and it looks like a cheesy kind of electrical thing. Even though here it's supposed to hit, just a gun, not a person.
Okay.
But that weird little
that's a rough. That's like a Stargate Atlantis electrical effect.
Yeah, but to say that looks like really like poor man Palpatine's lightning around the, and then here when it does hit a person, I can't remember if one of them gets winged here in the shoulder or something. Oh yeah, no,
I don't
because
do any of them
Walter
even
Goggins
die from plasma casters?
Walter Goggins gets hit by one, but then he's actually like it's his later, but he gets shot in the back by one. I can't remember his character's name. He's Walter Goggins.
No. The character's name isn't Walter. I mean, the actor's name isn't Walter. It's Walton.
Walton. I'm sorry, Walton Goggins.
Sorry, I'm just being.
I do love the whole just like flinging into this water. Like they don't get like the nice pencil dive in. They just get launched off this cliff.
And the stuntmen actually did it, and it's a lot higher than it looks on camera. This is a jump spot in Hawaii, and the stuntmen were like, well, might as well give it a shot. And it was apparently super sketchy. It was big. Wow. And they used an actual drone shot for this. And drones were pretty darn new.
Yep.
And then
the budget for helicopter.
An actual drone.
Yeah.
And this is the first time we've seen the Predators using drones like this.
Because this is that
big Predator that they call the Falconer.
Because this is the big reveal of all three of them.
On the left.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
He's
the second Falconer.
Okay, you see the dogs here again.
Yeah, you see the dogs because that's I forget what they called him.
Tusk.
For some reason. The Tusk would work. But
and then this
here
guy.
we have the Man in Black, as they called him, on set. And he's kind of the main one. And a bunch of people thought that the lower jaw on him was a thing. They thought it was a xenomorph thing. These are supposedly called super predators, by the way, or the Berserker Yautja. They're subspecies of the predator race, typically in the lore, larger, stronger, and more aggressive. And that's where you get things like the predator from Prey, and supposedly the lore breaking the predator.
Because we have, I mean, I get that he's big and tough and everything. The one action beat that I just it was too much for me. It's towards the end when Topher Grace gets sacrificed. He's like turned into a trap, and he's got like 6 grenades on him. I mean, he's got like 6 frag grenades at point blank range. That I don't care. I don't care. You would have so much shrapnel. I mean, he would. I'm not saying that he would have died necessarily. You could write around that, but they showed them like their skin gets penetrated by 9mm. I mean, or what's the Soviet guy's handgun, which is even smaller than 9mm. It's like 7 point something, and.
What are you thinking of the AK-47 7.62 by 39?
No. I'm talking about the Russian character, his minigun. He's lost his minigun, and later when they're in Lawrence Fishburne's crashed ship, he pulls out his sidearm, and it's like a little what's it called?
Oh, it's a Tokarev.
Yeah. It's a smaller caliber than 9, I believe.
Tokarev? I thought they were 9s.
Oh, do you still have it open? You still have gun database?
No. I just
That's right.
Look it up.
Anyways, so here we got the story. So anyways, the idea that he basically was unfazed by that, because frag grenades, again, it's just like it's shrapnel being propelled by explosions.
Yeah.
He should have been more wounded by that.
Yeah. Okay, you're right. 7.62 by 25.
Okay, so it is this small. I do like this, though. I do really appreciate that they kind of call back to the first movie. The way that she tells it, it makes sense that it's not like she was there or like knew Dutch personally or anything. That this really sounds like somebody telling a story from something they read in a debrief, file. So.
Mm-hmm. And with her being specifically listed as Mossad, not just IDF, she would theoretically have information that others would not be privy to in that way.
The fact that that she that she tells him about the mud thing right there, which is nice. He kind of tries it at the end, although it's more about just having so much fire that he doesn't stand out anymore. It's weird that they show him showing up in the Predator vision towards the end. I'm sorry, I'm jumping to the end fight here, but and then later they don't show it, where it turns out it's like his heartbeat that like finally gives him away. It's yeah, we gotta kill them all. Okay, this speech compared to what happens here later doesn't make sense to me, because it's like, okay, we're gonna we're gonna like trap them, right, or like create a choke point and all this stuff, and then it ends up where we're gonna jump to the scene here and they're just kind of chilling by a log, just all aiming in the same direction. There's no like setup for this. I wish they had done at least a quick little montage of something here. I think it would have been effective, because you just jump immediately to we're just waiting for them to show up.
They probably had something, but given that it ends up being kind of a nothing burger,
yeah, that's true.
They were probably like, let's cut this and not put it in there. But we need a moment where we show them kind of uniting, so we're gonna have them enact a plan. Then we do something.
Yeah, because this really just turns into setup to get them just to Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah. It's the way that he does his stuff, and he just like talks about this stuff like cocaine and rape and whatnot, as if it's like everybody should be totally agreeing with him. It's
when somebody says something to you with no room in their tone of voice for disagreement, and it's something that is very not of that type. It's just like, it's so awkward. This exchange.
Yeah,
you should stay away from him. Yeah.
He's one of those characters that he's gonna die, and you're gonna be happy for it when it happens. I'm really glad that they didn't add some sort of romantic element between these two.
No, it would have been horrible.
They do okay, so because this movie didn't get a sequel, they did follow-up comics. And they go a little bit into what happens with Royce and Isabella after they escape the planet. And it does have him like hunting predators and other prey animals on this planet for a while. They
because it wouldn't have gotten off right away.
They
right?
hang out. No, they develop a sort of romantic relationship for a while, but then they eventually find a way off planet. And like the last time we see anything of them in any of the comics, he decides that he wants to go meet the predators face to face, and he wants to go see their home planet, and they have two ships, so he gets on one ship to go to the predator home planet, and she gets the other ship to go back to Earth.
That actually,
and that's the last time we've ever seen anything of them.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, so this movie, it did make some money. I mean, it was made in like $40 million. I think it made like 120 globally. I mean, it wasn't like some box office hit, but it made enough money to justify its existence. And it's odd that Adrian Brody has said publicly several times he'd be up for a sequel. Rodriguez had other stories in the pipe. It's odd that they decided to not. I wonder if it was the critical response. I wonder if it was the time, or just the idea that Shane Black was kind of, he had done, I think Iron Man. When was Iron Man 3? We recorded that. That was like 2012. But he was, I mean, Iron Man 3, despite the issues of that movie, made $1 billion, right? So I think Shane Black was still, had a lot of, I don't know, just like goodwill in Hollywood, because he just made $1 billion movie. He was in the original Predators, or
it was Fox panicking. They knew that this made some money, but they didn't necessarily like the direction. It wasn't a huge smash hit, so they're like, okay, you know what? We could do a sequel to this, or we could invest in Shane Black making something that's going to give us lore. and a franchise. And we're going to have the Predator Shared Universe franchise to make us $1 billion like the Avengers. And we can see how that failed miserably.
Yeah.
Also, this alien right here, it's loosely based,
All
but
of you.
very, very similar
Sorry.
to... Yeah, look at this thing, though, okay?
Yeah.
This is the alien, sort of, that was played by Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Oh,
During
that's right.
The
original.
original Predator movie. This is what the Predator was originally supposed to look like before they decided to overhaul and fire Van Damme and change it. Yeah. I missed. She's not a great sniper in this movie, to be honest.
No, she actually misses quite often.
Which actual snipers do miss quite often, especially when they're lacking a spotter.
Yeah.
But
Brody flags.
I think it'd be
people
kind of
so much in
interesting.
this movie, by the way.
What was that?
Brody flags people so often in this movie, by the way. Just
Oh yeah,
constantly.
he just doesn't give a crap because they all trained with firearms quite extensively. She did especially, but a couple of them already knew. And one of the things that you can see a lot is the who drops their weapons and who doesn't when they turn.
Yeah.
Yeah. But her sniping skills, I
callback
think it'd be
line
kind of
there.
interesting. Yeah. I think it'd be kind of interesting if they had something about how snipers, given that they need to make these long, complicated shots that are essentially trigonometry problems that are very heavily determined by the curve of the Earth itself and gravitational pull, what if her shots were off because she's not used to the gravity of this planet?
That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
You don't talk too loud.
You talk too loud.
Lawrence Fishburne is a good choice for this character. I like Lawrence Fishburne, but he does that quite intense well. And later when he's talking to his imaginary friend, it just they don't overdo it. You know what I mean? Like he's not playing cliche crazy. He plays just enough of like a, you know, obviously this guy's been here for a while. Give him a little grace, and they don't
And
overdo
eating
it.
well.
Yeah, he's eating fine. Yeah. Oh gosh.
So, do you think that they wrote this character to be either Arnold Schwarzenegger or Danny Glover from Predator 2?
I'm sure they would have happily changed it to one of them if they could have.
Yeah.
I like the idea of it being somebody original, honestly, because I think I wouldn't have wanted you to bring one of them back and then kill them.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's interesting because it says Air Cav, which immediately kind of dates, his military service. That's not really a thing anymore.
Mhm.
And okay, is this supposed to be just a generic alien ship, or am I supposed to recognize this ship? Because I've never known if I'm supposed to recognize this thing.
I think it's supposed to just be other alien ships. I don't even know if they're supposed to be ships. They look almost like orbital
cannons or something.
defense cannons.
That looks like a big old track there or something.
Maybe that's supposed to be mining, like mining rigs of some kind.
Interesting.
But no, I don't think we're supposed to recognize them at all. I kind of tried to look for some lore on the planet, and it's limited to what's seen in the comic books. But
was it Dark Horse that was doing the comics for this?
Dark Horse? I don't think so. I think that this is under Marvel's run.
Really?
I could be wrong. I'll look that up. I read a few of them, but I honestly didn't. I didn't pay that close attention. Yeah, it was Marvel Predators. Let me double check here. Yeah, this was under Marvel.
What do you think of the transition here, though, into kind of a slight urban vibe for a little bit here in the middle? I mean, because I read one or two reviews that basically said that this is the part where they thought the movie really kind of slowed down and lost some energy. And I don't necessarily agree with that. I think that
So this is them filming in Texas in order to save money, not having to film in Hawaii anymore.
Yeah.
That's what this is.
I think that there's some really beautiful shots here. I think some of this stuff with the lighting, like it looks really good. Later, when they're leaving and they have the red flare going, there's some shots that are just beautiful there. So Okay, so like, do you know anything about this director? Because I mentioned, I think when we started, I can't remember if we were recording or not yet. I've never seen anything else
No,
this director's
he's
done.
done like so little. Nimrod Antal, which Nimrod is a name that's actually common in other parts of the world. In where I grew up, it was an insult used by Bugs Bunny. Thank you, Nimrod. Um, Named after the biblical character of Nimrod the hunter, a mighty king from Genesis. But um, yeah, virtually, I've seen almost nothing that he's directed.
Yeah. Now, do you
Um,
know why Rodriguez didn't direct this? Was it a money thing or?
I don't know. I think Rodriguez was doing something else at the same time.
He's one of those. You know what's funny? I think you and I are on the same page on this. He's a very revered director by a lot of people, and there's not a single
Hate him.
movie he's made that I've been like, that's amazing. Like, I don't mind some of his Mexico stuff with is it, oh my gosh,
Antonio Banderas.
Banderas. I kept thinking Brando, and I'm like, that's not it. I mean,
No.
he's I'm not trying to say he's a bad director, but he's never been a director that has, for me, lived up to the acclaim some people hold him up with.
I could see that. Um, I think that he has his style. I have a bone to pick with him
What do you got?
because specifically, what?
Well, yeah. What's your bone? I want to hear it.
Book of Boba Fett.
Mm,
So Robert Rodriguez came along and he directed several episodes of The
the
Mandalorian, and
worst
he did very
chase
well.
ever.
He did some good episodes of The Mandalorian. And okay, I don't care about the actual chase sequence. There's an episode of Book of Boba Fett that's talked about because it has a terrible chase sequence.
so
They call it
bad.
the Power Rangers episode. It's bad. Being a Star Trek and Stargate fan, I'm okay with shows having bad episodes every now and again. It's going to happen. It even gives some charm. What I can't abide is that he directed the season finale, and which ended up being the series finale, and he didn't stick the landing. All of that show's problems could have been forgiven if that last episode had been good. If they had had a single conversation about why Boba Fett even wanted to be in charge of Mos Eisley, or Mos Espa, why he wanted to be in this new position taking over for Jabba, like have him open up as a character and talk about his experiences. Instead, we get the stupidest like spin and dodge ever from this cyborg in the middle of the street that looks so cringy it hurts. I'm adding some actual like really good action sequences in that last episode, but all he needed to do was stick the landing of the finale of Book of Boba Fett for that to go down as a great show, and he didn't. And I hate that because they were setting up so much good stuff in that show, and they wasted so many good actors and performances. Anyway, Robert Rodriguez has problems, and I don't like him.
This whole scene, though, is like, I mean, again, you have some good acting here. I think you got some good dialogue here. It does give the world that they're in a little bit of flavor. I mean, it confirms a lot of stuff you probably already would suspect at this point. Not like you need this to kind of let you know that, yeah, this has been going on for a while. Obviously, they've seen evidence this has been going on for a while, but I like this. I don't know. Do you like this part of the film?
I do. I think it's great. I like that it slows down for a minute. I like the world building. Um, I like the performances. I don't know why people give it such hate for that. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, I think that Lawrence Fishburne's a great choice to do this because he does that just kind of quiet. His voice is so distinct. He's somebody who has that ability to just kind of make almost any, including ridiculous dialogue, sound good. I mean, I think that's one of the reasons why he works in the Matrix is because some of what he's saying is like, what? But the way he delivers it, you're like, I'm okay with this.
Mm-hmm. And it's funny, a lot of the dialogue that he uses and stuff like that kind of dates him as being like a Vietnam vet. He says that he's been here for 10 seasons, which is supposed to be somewhere around like 10 years. Or a little bit longer, but some people were theorizing that it's supposed to be a reference back to his character from Apocalypse Now, and that's just kind of the the reason why they're putting in some of that Vietnam vet dialogue, because he would have been a little bit too young for that.
Yeah, he's not old enough for that. I mean, this is 2010.
Well,
But I mean,
the
again,
thing is, he famously lied about his age when filming
Apocalypse Now.
Apocalypse Now. He was only like 15 or 14, and he said that he was 18, but he looked so much older that nobody cared, and nobody double checked. He was a soldier in that movie.
Yeah, he's a good actor. I mean, he's somebody who, not that everything he does I love, but I do think that he's I like him a lot. I think he's a very talented actor.
Yeah, well, he's one of those actors. I've said this about several actors. Is that they make bad movies, but they're never bad in a movie.
Yeah,
I think of things like I think of actors like Hannibal Lecter. The heck is his name? Anthony
Hopkins. Oh, he's been in a lot of bad movies.
He's good in everything.
Yeah,
but he's not in everything good.
I mean, he was in that. What was that movie with Chris Rock about the CIA or something like that? It was just so dumb, but he's still.
Wait, who?
Oh, he was. I look it up
Lawrence
sometime.
Fishburne or
No,
Anthony Hopkins?
Anthony Hopkins.
Oh, goodness.
And then,
That's
man,
terrible.
Anthony Hopkins, to get an actor like him to pull off the awful dialogue he has in Mission Impossible 2 as like the head of MI6 or the IMF, I mean, and it's just,
Right?
he has that. Remember that line about women?
Oh, did you ever see? Right? Oh my gosh, did you ever see the Hannibal TV show where Lawrence Fishburne played the character of Jack Crawford?
No, was that the one where what's his name? He was in Casino Royale as the villain.
Mads Mikkelsen.
Yeah, he plays Hannibal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Which-
I'd never seen it. I'm aware of it for sure, but I've never watched it.
That good show, good performances. As it evolves, it gets more psychedelic, and I'm not a fan of where it goes in some areas, but really good performances throughout. And he plays an excellent FBI profiler. And it's actually funny bringing up Hannibal, because this character, Topher Grace's character in this movie, was actually based on Hannibal Lecter. He was actually supposed to be a cannibal.
This is like, and then there's this line coming up. Your girlfriend? That's my sister. It's just like, oh my goodness. It's just, if that's actually
Everything
true,
is so much worse.
if that,
Everything is so much worse.
so much. It's like, can you imagine if that's true? That's so
For those
bad.
of you not watching, he has a naked tattoo of his sister.
He calls
He
her
says it's his sister.
her upper side like howitzers. It's like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, dude.
Yeah.
But the thing is, he delivers those lines just so straight up. It's just,
Mm.
But right there too, that there's set up. If you pay attention, the picture that he was handed of the Russian guy's kids, that he uses it later to like, be like, oh no, I have kids. When he's trying to, and he holds up that picture like it's his own. Like if you pay attention, there's definitely, it's. I hate twists where they're just pulled out of thin air. Where if you go back and watch the movie again, you're like, nope, they did not. Like, I could go on a whole rant right now about Ryan Johnson's Netflix mystery, The Glass Onion, is guilty of this, versus a good twist. If you pay attention, you can figure it out. And if you go back and watch it again, you can see
Because
the breadcrumbs.
Knives Out is really good with the twists.
Yeah, no, Knives Out and Wake Up Dead Man are both good. Glass Onion is...
Wake Up Dead Man annoyed me. It's just another kind of anti-religious drivel.
See,
but at the same time, it is really good.
I actually think that they managed to show a lot of respect to the main character's faith. And
Okay.
as much as it definitely pokes at the church, they never made
The church
him...
deserves to be poked sometimes.
It does sometimes. They never made the main character a fool for his faith, for like having his faith. And I appreciated that, at least. And the plot didn't have any glaring, like, okay, you just pulled that out of your butt type stuff.
Yeah.
So
Like Wake Up Dead Man did. Or sorry, not Wake Up Dead
Glass
Man.
Onion did.
Glass Onion.
Yeah, Glass Onion. Anyways, but this one, I like that Topher Grace's turn. If you're paying attention, you're like, oh, yeah. Like you said, the knife, the picture. And I mean, and it's even pointed out, like, he doesn't fit. Like, Adrian Brody's character is suspicious of him immediately, because why is he here?
Yeah.
Which is, again, like, you would think it's obvious, but plenty of twists in lesser made films no character points that kind of stuff out, and an intelligent character should notice that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
They should be like, that seems odd.
Adrian Brody's freaking nose, dude. These camera angles right now are not doing him any favors. Not to be overly critical.
They almost get the. I do like the lighting in here. It's funny. I was thinking about they put the Mexican filter on the inside of this ship, but or this structure, whatever they're in. But it also makes sense with the lighting, I guess. I'm trying to imagine what kind of chow does this guy have? Like, where did he find whatever he's eating?
Right, because it's obviously calorically dense.
Yes.
Lawrence Fishburne did not make any effort. To those of you who cannot watch, Lawrence Fishburne did not make any effort to lose any weight to be a man surviving for a long period of time. We did have some good moments between the characters with, like, the character of Hanzo there, the Yakuza guy. He, he talks about the swords, and it dates that they've been doing this a long time, which they play with that in specifically Killer of Killers, which is about two, one of the segments, I should say, is about two Japanese warriors. They're twins. One of them's a samurai and one of them's a ninja, and they deal with a predator, and they're both voiced by that same actor.
Interesting.
And they have the same last name as his character in here, so it's like they're supposed to be related, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah. Interesting choice here. I mean, he was desperate for sure, with the idea of, like, let's let the predators know where we are to have them come rescue us, essentially.
Yeah.
I mean, that's definitely... I mean, although it's like, what are you supposed to do, I guess?
Yeah. It's funny. He gets kind of top billing on this, but he actually has less screen time than Danny Trejo did.
Yeah, I mean, as much as Danny Trejo is a very recognizable guy, Lawrence Fishburne is definitely more of a movie star.
Right. Danny Trejo has some...
The other grenades, I appreciate right there. He has the grenades that show up right there. They don't appear out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm. It has him picking up the taser thing.
Well, the taser thing and the flares, although, like, they're the shortest burning flares in history that he grabs here. They last like 15 seconds each, which is like,
well, maybe they're old.
What is the point of that flare?
I mean, in theory, flares can degrade. I didn't like that they killed him off so fast, though. Again, I think that he was supposed to be a different character that lasted longer.
Yeah, and I the fact that there was no fight there, that he didn't have, I think that he should have had some kind of a defense set up or some kind of plan,
Mm-hmm.
And he okay, did you take this as he wanted them to get out so he could chase them again? Or, like, how do you interpret him opening the door just a little bit and then kind of walking away, essentially? The predator, I mean.
Well, I think that he knows that they'd be able to just tear him apart. They want to hunt.
That's true.
I think that
doors
part
and
of
corners
it is supposed to be that, right?
I mean, that's where they get you, right?
Yeah. But they want the honorable hunt because that will prove their worthiness to rejoin the rest of the tribe. Which, again, that is a post put out, novelization / comic books thing. So it's not necessarily absolute to what it should be. You shouldn't have to correct your movie afterward. But they do.
Can you imagine if they had to go full ham on their guns, though, in this, like, metal box they're in? None of these guys are wearing ear protection.
Be able to hear ever again.
Yeah. I'll notice here too that Adrian Brody's character. I mean, it makes sense. He's inside. He's gotten hot. He's took his shirt off. So you got to see he's been working on his arms.
Right. He's got guns in more than just that AA-12.
Yeah, got that. This shot is good though. Like, you get the red. It's lit well. It's a cool frame, right?
The lighting in this movie is consistently good.
Yeah.
Whoever they did. When you get to the end with the fire.
Yeah. Although we do have, in my mind, the worst special effect coming up here. So, I mean, this whole sequence I liked. The flares are cool. You got this kind of industrial, almost feels like Alien for a minute here.
I was going to say, it feels a little bit like Aliens.
Yeah.
Which, Oh, it's interesting. Walton Goggins' character was actually completely reworked after Goggins was cast because they felt that his performance was too close to Game Over, man, Game Over from
really? Bill
Aliens.
Paxton?
They thought that it was just like Bill Paxton's character.
Huh.
Yeah.
Bad time to get lost.
Idiot.
So, but yeah, so coming up here, he does the whole flare thing, and I do wonder if the Russian guy hadn't shown up to kind of save him,
Mm-hmm.
would he have tried to scalpel the Predator with the paralyzing agent?
I mean, maybe.
Because yes, he's a dangerous human in that, but he's a very, he's dangerous in a very specific context, right? Like he wouldn't be overly dangerous to you or me necessarily if we knew who he was. He's dangerous in secret, I guess is what I mean, versus your more traditional, and it does work as a contrast, right? To have somebody like this who's not dangerous in your traditional, I'm a military man who's dangerous in a very straightforward way. The lighting of these
Well, you
films
have a bunch of these. You have different kinds of predators, I think, is the idea. And part of this is he's an ambush predator. Isabella is an ambush predator. The others are like active hunters, Yeah. So there's they wanted to sample a variety.
Yeah. Is it a little cliche to give the Russian the striped shirt of like the Russian Navy?
No, that's not just the Russian Navy though. That also has to do with airborne.
Ah.
Because he's supposed to be a commander in the Spetsnaz.
Yeah. I also think of just the Russian character in the Punisher movie. The Punisher movie with Thomas Jane. He's got the striped shirt on.
Yeah, says the striped shirt is there for a reason.
Ooh.
I don't like that electrical sound effect that sounds right out of like Star Trek Next Generation.
Yeah, it was like, why would a flare do that? I mean, this is a
Yeah.
decent shot though of the smoke and his silhouette. But so coming up here where you got the it's supposed to be
look at this thing though. This
like
is
a
shaped
drill
like
or-
a mining rig, like a drill. So I think they're supposed to be large mining rigs.
I think you're right. But this coming up here when this claymore goes off, one, you get again the cliche thing that a claymore which has a C4 inside of it, it's got it's a high energy explosive, which is just a boom, not a fireball. But it's like this massive fireball, like just this massive fireball, and it's the
like
worst.
It's filled with gasoline or something.
Yeah, and it is some of the worst CG fireball I just have seen in so long. Like, when was the last time you saw this?
I saw
Here
the
you go.
explosion earlier today.
Okay. Oh, like
But
a
yeah,
retrospective.
It's not good.
Yeah, it's so bad. But so the impact there, like it hit his shoulder, and it feels very lightweight. The
Especially compared to it like literally blowing Florence Fishburne apart just a minute ago.
Yeah. Like, are there settings on these things?
I mean, there could be.
This is the one character I feel like you actually feel bad for dying. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because he seems like a guy who is just doing his job. He doesn't have any dialogue that specifically makes it seem like he's an evil man. He's a professional.
Yeah. This right here, though. Okay, so as it starts traveling, just that is rough comp, right? It's just it's low res. The physics of it look horrible, and it's a claymore,
that
dude.
actually looked like a cartoon.
Yeah,
it actually looked like a cartoon. He would have had to have so much more explosive on him.
Not to mention diesel or something, to get that nice orange. a couple gallons of diesel fuel, because I mean that's how you get that. And again, that wasn't even a real explosion. A tiny bit at the end. It's funny. It was almost jarring. You could see when all of a sudden it was real fire at the very last moment.
Okay, does this seem like that scene in Alien though?
Oh yeah,
Aliens,
absolutely.
Sorry,
with the debris and everything.
Be a reference to that.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
And, see, right there again. It's just the weird electrical, like on the skin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, it's a strange choice. I don't understand why they did it. Oh, this scene. You want to talk about this one?
It's
so
the weird spinning
this is one of those...
bowcaster Bowcaster.
Bowcaster, plasma
Bolt.
caster.
Plasma caster.
Bowcaster is from Star Wars. But no, the thing is, that scene was in the trailer.
Oh, so he had,
Except
yeah.
hundreds or dozens, I should say, of those targeting
Yep.
reticles.
Oh, that's
on
right.
him.
He had the
And it was just
he
big
had the
false
like
advertising. There's actually a lawsuit about it.
okay, but he had the armor on under. He grabbed the guy's armor that he was playing with
Mhm.
under his shirt. That's why he survived that plasma caster shot.
But he got the famous spinal cord rip
Yep.
out. So
You know what though? If
Bye,
there
Walton
was a
Goggins.
character to have that done, it's him.
yeah, he's a good one. Well done. But yeah, so there's supposed to be the Falconer, the Tracker, and then the one with the black mask is officially called the Berserker. But in the original script, they had him credited as the Man in Black because they wanted him to be kind of like, or Mr. Black. Sorry, Mr. Black, because they wanted him to be kind of like the character from Reservoir Dogs.
Ah.
Yeah.
So this guy, I mean, now he's just
The Tracker.
following footsteps, I guess. I do like. I mean, his helmet design has a little more of an an avian quality to it, right? The design.
I like the helmet design on that. I think it's a cool one. The
Yeah.
thing is, the heads are a little big because they're using slightly smaller people than the other actors who have played Predators practically. So to have the masks be the same and the headgear be the same, they had to like essentially make their heads a little bit more bulbous.
From a
And-
purely, yeah. Okay, so I like this scene a lot. This is a good, and I love the where they found to shoot this. I don't know if this is on a soundstage or they actually found a place in Hawaii, but the
I hope they found an actual place. It looks
yeah.
really good.
the grass. This always makes me think of the raptor scene in Jurassic Park: The Lost World. The grass is shorter here, but the idea of like
best part of that movie.
it is but the idea of like you come out of the jungle to like this big open grassy field is just I don't know. It's visually striking for sure, and it's just this is a decent fight too because I am not an educated person in Japanese culture or fighting in any way, shape, or form. I'm just somebody who's seen a lot of movies, but the fight here seems, I'm going to use a weird word for a sci-fi movie, but realistic.
It seems culturally appropriate for both sides.
Yeah.
Yakuza culture is difficult to talk about because a lot of it's hearsay, a lot of it's, noted in some professional stuff. The fight's well choreographed for being what it is. It's also hard to do kind of a sword fight in the dark, but like the grass looks really good.
Yeah.
The lighting's good for the silhouettes, but there's something very samurai about it, especially with him having that sword, where they were really big. The samurai were really big on having honorable one-on-one contests.
Yeah.
Some of their battles for a period of time were even just solved by one-on-one contests between the people with the biggest titles and names because they wanted to make a name for themselves.
Oh,
yeah.
It just
That's
I'm
a
watching
good
this.
shot.
Yeah, I'm just like watching this because I'm like, it's just this is one of the best looking scenes in the movie. I think.
I like that because they had in the original Predator they had the two blades coming out of his wrist device, and then in Alien versus Predator they had the two blades but they were extended, and then in this one it's the single blade that extended, but it looks really good.
Yeah.
And
they in like Alien versus in like Alien Predator they had like the blades that went like out and they like reversed or something. It was like
that was Alien versus Predator Requiem, but yeah.
Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah.
But this is good. This is just like it's a good end.
Yeah.
I kind of hoped that they would have him live, but it works for both of them.
It does.
It's something that's so classic, like Kurosawa, right?
Oh yeah.
And you see a reference like go watch Ahsoka, okay? And she has that fight with the Inquisitor Marok, and it ends like the exact same way, except that she's not hit, but it has that kind of like anime thing, I like it.
This is a good scene too. I mean, again, this is a hard one because Okay, so, this is a question that's been brought up in many many movies, right? I mean, war films talk about this a lot, but the idea of at what point is your life worth more than how you fight? Like what scenario kind of puts you in a situation where I mean this movie's barely talking about this, but this is a scenario, right, that it's set up where being honorable essentially will mean you'll lose or be at a dis. See, there's the photo from the Russian guy.
Yeah.
Versus like it's the fact that it's just down to the three of them. Her versus him. I don't know. This is where I feel like there's a decent argument to we got to win. We have to live. But at the same time, is it actually worth it to sacrifice your life to kind of save your honor? I mean, it's an old conversation that goes through so much. But science fiction is like replete with races that are obsessed with honor, right? Like that is a sci-fi trope for sure. And,
you always get the honor species, you always get the logic species, and even before Star Trek, you had that. But they're the ones who really encapsulated it well.
So, like, in this scenario, though, because this isn't like you're fighting a war or whatever. Like, this is it's interesting though because is it worth dying to save your honor in a situation like this, or what does that even mean?
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, I'm
like it's a question of humanity.
It kind of is. I mean, like, part of me thinks like, well, I mean, it should be. I think some people would be like, oh, it's obvious, you save your honor, and even if it means you die, like, how we die is important, kind of a thing. But I don't know, there's something to. I also could see his point of view in a. This guy is obviously, here for a reason. I don't know yet, but I suspect it's not good. I don't feel bad about leaving him behind, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Man, this guy looks good.
He does. It's similar to The Predator, where it's like it's a huge bummer that they kill off the kind of hero predator, like the good guy predator, like so quickly.
Yeah.
He
doesn't even
I
get like
see one that lasts a little bit longer.
Yeah, he doesn't even get like a good hit in. You know what I mean? Like they kind of wrestle around a little bit, but it's not like he doesn't even have like I briefly get the upper hand kind of moment that you would expect in a lot of fights.
Yeah, he doesn't even take one of them out. Like, I think that might have been a budget thing because one of the original ideas was to have this planet have like entire city, almost like a Mos Eisley of predators. But they didn't have the budget for anything like that, and they thought that it would kind of remove the specialness. But I was supposed to have more, and there was supposed to be a little bit more culture stuff between them.
So, we're going to be watching Predator movies the next few weeks here. I've heard this brought up in a few different commentaries, articles, whatever you want to call them, or combination of the above. But how many times can you essentially have the most, these like very feared creatures and predators make movie after movie after movie of them losing, essentially, and keep it interesting?
That is the big question, but that's also kind of like I think that you need to show them winning, and this is one where you also show them winning so much.
Yeah, well, that's where I think you need to have a group. But I think that one of the things that say like Predator 2 could have done a better job on is having the Predator, shown to have beat some very capable people. I think the original Predator worked because you did establish how good Dutch's team was, and then have the Predator take so many of them out, right? And that just kind of and then you had Arnold win, but I mean he really had to work for it, right? I think that if you don't set up not just generic dudes running around, your classic movie henchmen with machine guns who have not been able to kill a main character in the history of cinema, you need something where you have specific characters that are shown to be dangerous losing before you have the hero ultimately winning, right?
Yeah. And I think that there's a way to do it, and part of it is also like what's the right way to phrase this? Where the protagonists don't necessarily die or lose, but the predator has victory.
Hmm.
You need a way to be able to set that up so that it ends almost in like a bitter, sour, or threatening note. You know?
Here, though, too, I almost feel like, and again, maybe this is a budget thing. So this is a smaller predator, and the fact that he's just immediately like, let's just go mano a mano on what's shown to be like just a bigger, stronger predator. I
Hmm.
feel like he should have been trying to use like some tactics versus like let's just throw down, you know.
Yeah.
And the weird
Um.
electrical thing is I get that it's like their cloaking fields getting interfered with, whatever, but it looks cheap. The little electrical stuff.
Yeah.
I think that somebody
I
thought
agree.
that it was making it, feel more, oh, they've got like, their armor or whatever. It's just, what do you think of his spinning plasma caster?
Uh, Fine.
Yeah.
It's not something that stands out to me as like incredibly great, but it adds some visual flair. Um,
Yeah, this to me is probably where I think the movie could have used a little more time in the oven. This sequence, I think, once we get to the fight with Royce, I think it gets good. But this whole sequence just feels, I don't know.
it's not quite where it needs to be. It needs to be
Yeah.
something extra special. It's competent, but it's not
Oh,
special.
I don't. Okay, one of my least favorite editing techniques is when you show
Mm,
the same thing like 4 times from slightly different angles, and you're like basically like repeating right there. So that headbutt, it like comped it in. He like, oh, boom, boom, and it wasn't a, oh, I'm headbutting you over and over and over again. It's like one hit that they like basically show you multiple times. You know what I mean?
yep, that's common.
I
That's usually budgetary.
Yeah,
Reusing a scene that looks really good that probably cost a lot of money, and they just repeat it. But yeah, I expected Royce to like jump in
intervene.
and save and intervene.
Yeah, because that's
Um,
it. Like
and he
he's
doesn't.
beheaded. It's just,
Yeah.
and also too,
And
like, is this guy's? I don't mind Topher Grace being a serial killer, being dangerous, but I almost feel, and you have to be really careful because you could easily turn this into, that effect is not great, by the way, right there. Um,
yeah.
you could y- you'd have to be careful to not bog this story down. But what was his plan here? Was he just like, well, we're both going to die. I might as well get my like jollies in while I can? Is it as simple as that in your mind, or was there something like, what was his? Did he have a plan here, or was it just a, it's now or never? Might as well indulge my dark side one more time. How do you interpret this?
Well, he doesn't want her to kill him. He thinks maybe he has a chance somehow. I don't know,
That's right. 'Cause
but
she
like,
did say at the beginning, "I'll do us both. It'll be fast."
hmm
That's right.
exactly. Um. Uh. Yeah. So there's some logic to it, but they don't really show like what he wants out of it. The comic book that they made of it expands this a little bit more, and he like actually cuts off and eats a part of her
Ooh,
and talks about how like he was a cannibal, which is definitely a Hannibal Lecter reference because
yeah.
he's a doctor who tricks people. Um, yeah. So, does it give a solid reason as to why this whole thing happens?
Well, I mean, I get him going, well, if he stole my ship, he's gonna die.
Yeah.
The, I mean, it looks like the other predator like was able to remote control the ship, right? He like went through a few
Mm,
planets really fast, and they just said they all had remote control to the ship, I guess. I mean, I get that the movie's trying to fake you out that like like not Reese, Royce died there, but I mean, I think anybody watching this is like, obviously he's not on the ship.
yeah.
I know
So
this
it does kind of.
this to me does bog down a little bit here. This just drags a tiny bit for just a minute or two here for me.
It does. It's a strange one.
I also do not like the classic hallucinogenic, like, oh, things get blurry and the audio gets wobbly. It's just
Mhm.
it comes across as a little bit cheap, the effects here. Even
Yeah.
though it's actually employing a very, kind of classic technique for this kind of stuff. I don't know. I feel like you could just fast forward this for 2 minutes, you'd be perfectly fine.
Yeah. It's just giving him times to kind of like monologue and be creepy, and then hero shot of Adrian Brody being like, "Sir." And he instantly changes back to like um what's the word that I'm looking for? Demure and all like, poor
I'm
puppy,
harmless.
I'm
Yes.
innocent. Harmless, thank you.
Okay, did the other predator just take its sweet time getting back here? he, had,
Right?
he had time to like had to go grab these nets or whatever and just kind of this whole, I mean, I did like the I mean, Adrian Brody's character, I mean, obviously is not an idiot.
No.
The move he does where he like he doesn't kill him, but very much incapacitates him. I enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's like kind of sweet justice. All right, and you got the weapon drop that she'll have to crawl back to later. Kind of setting the scene, right?
Yeah. It's giving
'Cause
you
he-
all the pieces. The only
Yeah.
thing that doesn't make sense is the
Just how long
where's
this
the
takes.
predator? What's he
Yeah.
doing? Is he
This
taking
takes
his
so
time?
long.
Is he watching all this?
Well, because not only
Mhm.
does he have the time for this, he has the time to, strip down, go find some mud, lay out all the fire stuff around, kind of set the whole. I mean, like he's got some setup time. This other predator was, I don't know, he needed some Advil, needed a little timeout before he could rejoin the fight.
Right?
No, I'm not. I do like that line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that was him like killing him. I thought that, like, I remember the first time I saw this, I'm like, "Ooh, that's how they're doing it," like a Dune style, because all of the other Dunes before Denis Villeneuve's
Yeah.
Dune Part 2 had um character of Fade killed that way.
Well, because if you did
um,
cut up right through there, but you didn't have a long enough knife to go up into like this, the brain essentially, you would just
Mhm.
have a bleeder, right? Right.
and the
you
soft
just
palate, yeah.
yeah, that's you would just be bleeding a ton, but it would not kill you very fast. I mean, eventually you would bleed out, but it would take a while.
So here's your preparation scene.
Yeah, but I just mean he's got all the time for this, right?
Yeah.
And the
Like,
predator,
and
he's
the
like,
predator's just like
I'm back.
strolling in.
And of course, he's
Is that a
strolling in,
xenomorph
no
too?
cloak. Maybe it was damaged when he fought the other predator. And you got this news. I don't like this. To me, is all nonsense. Like all this visual stuff of like his language popping
Yeah.
up and
All you need to do is just pan and scan.
yeah, just show his vision, looking around. Maybe like switch between two or three different fields of view. But like, you don't need the whole digital readout Terminator style stuff going on in his vision. His helmet's also too shiny. I think it should have been more matte. The shininess to me
I
makes
could see
it.
that, but I wonder if it was some sort of camera choice.
It might have been, but I think so. The shiny to me makes it look. So right there, the texture looks better. It's weird. It's just certain angles. The shininess makes it look plastic when it's not supposed to be, obviously. But like this angle looks way better. Oh,
Yeah. Oof,
just
that is a
randomly
good
like.
scene. Just like, okay, you're alive, but like the slow knife just pushing into him and through him is just it's so bad.
Yeah, but right here, I'm sorry.
Mhm.
The fact that he doesn't have a single drop of green blood coming out of his torso area with that many grenades going off right in front of him, I call BS all day long. Sorry.
No, totally. Like this.
I mean, I get that he's
I love
stunned.
the practical effects used.
Oh
here,
yeah. I get that he's stunned, and man, Adrian Brody put the work in. You can tell.
He did. Like, look at that. He's got an 8-pack. Like Adrian Brody, the pianist, has an 8-pack, and he was like 40
Oscar
when he
winner
filmed this.
Adrian Brody is here in his full gym bod, covered in mud,
Like, I think
about
that
to
this
fight
is
a
actually
predator.
this is the type of physique that I want to see superheroes have, because it's like more realistic. They specifically wanted them lean and wiry in this movie.
Yeah.
They didn't want them like Ace Ventura, Jesse Ventura, and Arnold Schwarzenegger and Carl Weathers in the original Predator. The switch up with the tomahawk and everything like that, and using fire instead of mud, I think was a pretty good idea. They have established that his superpower is that he's fast, so this is decent to me. Though I wish that the Predator was a little bit more on his game, though he wasn't blown up.
And
so.
and they do the just again they're doing the fast cuts, the fast edits. I feel like they could have maybe slowed, for lack of a better term, slowed it down a tiny bit more just to show him as he's doing laps essentially.
Mm-hmm.
But you get the heartbeat.
Could you imagine
here.
a Predator game made by Rocksteady?
Ooh, where you're the Predator?
Yeah,
I would play that.
this is reminding me of like a Detective Vision from the Arkham games. Yeah, that's a decent. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the right word for it.
Roll over.
I like the spinning barrel. I think it's interesting.
It does give it a
I think
tiny
having-
bit of buildup. Like there's a capacitor in there or
personality.
something. The half. I mean, whenever a character is paralyzed, right? I feel like it's almost a rule that you have to have like the struggling attempt to, get to something in time. And then, of course,
It
if the
builds
Predator had just
tension,
beheaded them here
Brian.
immediately, it would have been fine. But he had to play with
Right?
them a
Nobody's
little
got to throw him around.
bit. Yeah,
He's got to play with his food. No, this is one of the things that bothers me about this movie is exactly that. Like, there's no reason for him to not be just totally destroying him right now. I don't like unearned victories. I don't like Pyrrhic victories. I like he. I want to see the characters, good guys and bad guys, being reasonable and intelligent throughout the whole thing. And right here, the Predator's being stupid and dramatic. I don't know.
Ooh, for the shoulder.
Like, that whole blade shot is good. Like, I like that he fired back when he's wounded. I think he should have just missed or like hit the gun or something like that. But I like, her saving him and him getting back up and going ham with the tomahawk here. Great.
I do
100%,
appreciate
let's do
how many hits it takes. Like, this is a big, powerful man. I do appreciate right there that he did. It explains why we don't get the stealth destruct. Because he gets the arm, right?
Yeah. Like, all this, great. But like him just beating him up stupidly, nah.
Well, it's the whole because he hasn't shown that behavior before, and it's like it comes across as I'm just waiting to get shot. Like I'm behaving this way in order to give the other character enough time to shoot me, type thing.
Yeah, precisely.
Oh man.
Oy.
He would be
Like,
he'd be a little sore in the morning.
Just a wee bit.
I also I get for the reason of the ending why you kind of want to show the next game coming in, but I almost the idea that like seasons, that there were identifiable seasons that Lawrence Fishburne talked about, they wouldn't happen immediately. Like you wouldn't. I mean, to me.
Well, I mean, maybe this is just the first round of the season.
They expected the Predators to last longer?
And no, they expected the Predators to last longer. Now the next prey is here.
Royce.
I have a coworker named Royce who is a swaggering young man. He's like half Filipino and half Mexican, and he thinks he's the coolest guy in the world. He walks into work wearing this big puffy jacket. He literally has a speaker, a Bluetooth speaker that hangs off of his belt playing his music, like he's walking in with theme music.
Seriously?
And, oh yeah.
Okay.
I'm not even joking. I think I need to make a D&D character based off him.
Oh gosh.
And he just swaggers. It's the best way to put him. He has the exaggerated swagger. um, uh, and it's all I could think of when I hear the name Royce. And as I was studying this thing, all I could think of was, what would Royce do on this planet? He would just die. Um, like he's stoned every day at work. He literally goes out and vapes off of a marijuana vape every day before he goes into work.
Nice.
And it just, yeah.
Man, what would you do next? The thing is, I know there's comics, but I would have really enjoyed a sequel to this movie.
Oh, absolutely. There's all kinds of stuff, and they had plans for it. They had ideas that would have been like them making friends with a predator, fighting off other predators, and like being integrated into their society, and in order to find a way off the planet, and kind of showing what that would look like, and one of them being more accepting of that culture versus the other one wanting to just go home and not have anything to do with it.
Because according to...
Could have been some really interesting stuff.
Yeah, I mean, if you take kind of the ending of Predator 2, if other predators had shown up on this planet, or the right predators had shown up and found this pair having killed the predators who were there with them, they would have shown them respect, right? I mean, that's kind of the established lore at this point.
Correct. Oh man, there's a freaking like the song. It's from the original Predator.
Oh yeah,
but it did not belong at the end of this movie.
They really just needed to go into the classic theme. I get what they were going for here. Like, it's just kind of that jarring contrast, but I would have much rather have had just go into the classic, It is such a Terminator. It's funny, I've realized going back through this and RoboCop, I love both of those themes, and they had kind of vanished in my mind for a long time as far as like how good they were. They're both very simple, but they're both really good 80s themes.
Oh yeah, the RoboCop one being like purposefully exaggerated is just great.
Yeah, so this is kind of like, I mean, I would be shocked if any of the threads in this movie were ever tied up in a future film at this point. It's been 16 years, and
the guy who the Trachtenberg, who did Prey and Badlands, he loves the Predator. He's godfathering them. He's bringing in other things. He's made some references to this movie.
Okay,
I think that I think he could tie up a couple of loose ends for it.
Because Badlands, it was successful, but not amazingly so, right?
Enough that they're doing more.
Because it's, I mean, does Hulu have some kind of like stake in it? Well, because it's Fox, right? So okay, it's Fox, so it's actually owned by Disney now. So Badlands, it was $185 on a $105 million budget. So it didn't quite double its budget. I mean, it wasn't a bomb, but it wasn't, it wasn't.
But it was well
success.
liked, and it did really well on streaming. I think that they might end up turning the Predator series into a streaming only thing, but it also just really depends on what Disney's going to do with it next. Like their next move is going to be the important one, and that hasn't been decided yet.
Yeah.
So the entire future of Predator is up in the air.
Yeah, because Badlands was just last year, right? Am I crazy? Yeah, November of 25. So, okay. Yeah, it's interesting. So we're gonna kind of finish up at least the current Predator stuff. I've never seen the Predator. I watched that before we obviously do a little research on that before we watch it. I have seen Prey. I didn't love it, but I definitely like it. I mean, I thought it was it was good. I think some people really loved it, and I think that it was very solid. Like I'm not going to be mean to it. But it also
there's a lot of things about Prey that are just so good that other movies don't do. Like their filming at night is so realistic compared to almost every other movie that has nighttime filming stuff. And that wonder that they've got of the Predator taking on the the trappers is so stinking good. But I digress. We'll talk
Oh no,
about that.
it's no. I don't besmirch it in terms of like I don't think that it's it's solid for sure. And then I still have not seen Badlands, so this is kind of my excuse.
You haven't?
No, I always meant to, and it just never came up. I actually was gonna go see it in theaters. Jen and I were both gonna go see it, and I forget what we guys got busy, and then it was out of the theater that we usually go to, and then it was like, all right, catch it on streaming, and just never have. So no, I'm looking forward to. That's one of the reasons why I was like, let's just do all these now, because I wanted to see Badlands, kind of like get into a Predator mood, kind of a Predator headspace for a little while here, and to just enjoy kind of wrapping up the films at least.
Yeah. But let's go ahead and wrap this one up since we got so much from Predator to talk about over the next couple of weeks. I have to use the bathroom. I have to feed my cats. And man, I really do like this movie. I think it's underrated. If you guys like sci-fi action films, it's definitely worth a watch.
Yeah, I would based on, again, I haven't seen them all, but to me this is my second favorite Predator movie. This is only topped for me by the original in terms of how much I like it as a film in the Predator franchise.
I'd have to see Badlands again because Badlands has some stuff about it that I'm a little bit on, but I think I'd actually put Prey above this. I think Prey is a better made movie.
All right. Well, we will talk about
That's
that
just me.
soon. But have a good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
There's doors and corners, kid. If you don't clear the room, if you don't come in slow, that room will eat you.